Winter officially starts next week, but the weather's already been brutal in much of the country. All that snow and ice are causing some very treacherous driving conditions. And joining us now with tips on how to stay safe on the roads this winter is David Champion, Director of Automobile Testing for Consumer Reports. David, good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
What should we be keeping in mind? What's right at the top of our consciousness as we head out into the roads during these bad weather?
Well, it's where the car meets the road, and that really is the tires. You need to make sure that your tires have plenty of tread on them. We use a quarter. If you can see the top of George's head, then those tires need to be replaced. Also, tire pressures are very important. Always check your tire pressures because cold temperatures reduces the pressure inside the tire. You need to keep those up to date as well. And if the going really gets tough, snow tires are a really good choice if you're driving in snow and ice conditions. They have a much more aggressive tread than a normal all-season tire and gives you much better traction to get going, and also much better braking and also cornering.
Well, speaking of braking and cornering, I mean, some common sense applies here as well. In terms of being out on the roads, you need to keep distance from the other cars out there.
Yes, you really need to drive very gently. No sharp maneuvers, no sharp braking, no sharp acceleration. I always say drive as if you've got a cup of coffee on your dashboard and you don't want to spill it. So everything is done very gently.
That's really good advice. You should also check your headlights, right?
Yes, headlights are very important, not only to be seen, to see with, but also to be seen. So make sure that your headlights are nice and clear. Make sure your tail lights are clear of dirt. Make sure the bulbs are intact and you don't have one out.
And one of the other things is you're right there by the hood, and it happens all the time. We always forget to make sure that we have enough wiper fluid, right?
Yeah, your washer fluid here is should always be filled before you take a journey. It also should have washer fluid in it, so it doesn't freeze in conditions like we have today, which is very cold here. Because that fluid, as soon as it comes out on your windshield, you don't want it to freeze on here either. Also, your wiper blades as well also need to be replaced probably twice a year, and this is a really good time to change them to make sure that when the wipers do go across, they actually clear the screen. You know,
one of the things that you make a good point, because as you open the hood there, cars are so different than they used to be. At least for the window washing fluid, there usually is a symbol right on the front. You can't make a mistake in terms of where you put that stuff in.
Yes, there is, and this one is just it looks like a little squirter coming out actually onto a windshield. They sometimes are different colors, but always check your owner's manual to make sure you find the right one.
Right. Now let's talk a little bit about what we should be keeping in our cars at this time of year to make sure that if we do run into trouble, it won't be a really bad scenario.
Well, one of the main things is make sure you have a good set of jumper cables. Once you can get your car started, then you can get heat out of the engine to keep yourself warm. And an engine will use probably less than half a gallon of gasoline every hour. So as long as you've got sort of half a tank of gas, you're good for a number of hours to let that engine run and keep yourself warm inside. Also, a good flashlight. Make sure the batteries are charged so it actually works. That happened to me the other day. A good scraper. Yeah. I like the long-handled ones as well because you can actually use them to scrape snow out from underneath the tire.
All right, David, we've got to wrap it up right there. Also, probably keep a blanket and maybe some water in there, too. Do appreciate your advice. You always do such a good job. Thanks so much, David Champion.